So I'm assuming most, if not all of you, have heard about the Brooklyn Center cop who murdered Daunte Wright as he, tried to get back in his car and leave, and he was pulled over for like a broken tail light or some type of fucking traffic violation, and he was murdered in cold blood by this fucking killer cop. And then we see, the community reacting very appropriately with a lot of anger and rage at, once again, another black man, another person of color being gunned down by a killer cop. And again, the institution of policing is inherently white supremacist, inherently racist. It can't be reformed. The answer isn't more training or education or military grade weapons or more funding, as the Biden approach is, or obviously Trump's approach is just as shitty on this issue. It's defunding the police and investing in programs of community uplift and ultimately working towards abolishing the police and actually giving that massive amount of funding and resources to the communities who have been most, impact, brutalized, killed, and controlled by police violence and police control, particularly communities of color, other vulnerable and marginalized groups. Because again, at the core, the cops are tools of capitalism and white supremacy, and investing in actual things that would be a much better use, basically anything, but things like education, housing, mental health care, good paying jobs, arts, sports, organic agriculture, schools. I mean, Jesus Christ. Again, anything would be a better use of the money than giving it to cops to murder people like Daunte Wright and then brutalize the people in the community standing up against, racism and police violence and white supremacy. And, what are these protesters being met with? War crimes, more or less, because, again, tear gas, that is illegal in war, and yet it's being used on protesters protesting against police brutality and murder. In Minnesota, it's also been used all over the fucking country against people rising up, in these rebellions or riots, however you like to describe them, against police violence. Unicorn Riot is a great one to follow. So now the governor of Minnesota has issued a curfew in 3 states, so you can't go out, can't protest, can't exercise your First Amendment rights because there's a curfew in place in these 3 counties from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then look at the millions of dollars in police and, material here used to try to curtail people rightfully angered, rightfully fucking pissed off to the point of rioting because the cops have yet again killed another black person in cold fucking blood because supposedly they were trying to get their taser, but they got their gun instead and fucking murdered him. It's fucked. Again, defund the police, work towards abolishing them. There is no reforming this racist white supremacist institution that is a tool of capitalism and social control. Look at all these. Look at all those fucking cops. Look, just a fucking line of them. I mean, Jesus Christ. Media placed under arrest if you fail to disperse. Leaf blowers to push away gas and police munitions. That's awesome. A look at some of the riot weapons being repeatedly by officers tonight. Some made by Safari Land Defense. I mean, look at that. Unlimited amounts of money to not only kill people like Daunte Wright, and then seemingly also unlimited amounts of money to brutalize, maim, and repress people speaking out and protesting against police violence and cold-blooded fucking murder. I mean, Jesus Christ. And yet we can't get fucking universal health care. We can't get a fucking living wage. We can't get a Green New Deal so we have a inhabitable planet to live on. But unlimited amounts of money go to the fucking cops and the military. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, look at all these fucking cops. And to the people crying and complaining about, businesses being fucking destroyed, it's fucking property damage. It's fucking property damage. Somebody was fucking murdered in cold fucking blood. Again, and this is all happening during the trial of Derek Chauvin, the Minnesota cop who murdered fucking George Floyd in cold blood. As MLK said, to paraphrase, rioting is the language of the unheard. What the fuck else do you expect to happen? I mean, for fuck's sakes. Trooper aims his munitions launcher directly at the driver of a vehicle that seemed to be trying to leave. This is a lawful assembly. Shut the fuck up. How long is this clip?
10:47. Curfew was at 7 p.m. Bunch of the officers in the background with their vests. I don't know if you can see them moving. Those are the state troopers. These people in the front, I think, are in Milford County.
Just think about how many schools, how many actual working class jobs this would create, because again, cops are not part of the working class. I'm sorry, they're a tool of capitalism and white supremacy. How many schools this could have built, how many parks, how many cultural centers, how much reparations this could have been given to the black community, to communities who have been brutalized and oppressed, to the poor. I mean, Jesus Christ, again, any other use of the funds would be better than to give it to the cops. Cops do not keep people safe. Improving the material conditions of the working class and the poor, that keeps people safe. Living wages, universal health care, free college, canceling student loan debt, canceling medical debt, Green New Deal, etc. Officers now striking and arresting people. I mean, Jesus Christ. More brutality and violence for people, against people, I should say, protesting police brutality and murder and violence. I mean, Jesus Christ. Let's see, do they have anything else going on here? Cops are moving to do a kettle. So that's when they kind of try to draw you into a certain location, close off your access so they can do mass arrest, more or less.
They just said, grab that Explorer. What are you doing? I'm pressed. I'm pressed, dude. I'm pressed. I'm pressed. I'm moving out right now. I'm pressed. Dude, I'm pressed. Stop. I'm pressed, man. I don't know what you're doing. I am pressed right now. Watch out.
Defund and abolish the police. This shit's fucking unreformable and we don't need it.
I got you. I'll show you.
This isn't keeping the community safe.
Okay. Well, you came up to me, trying to fool me. Here you go, sir. Yeah, I can't read with the light in my face. Thank you. All right. You're good. Well, you understand when the lights are in my face and I can't see the lights in my face.
Millions and millions of dollars at work right there. It's fucked.
A bunch of shots were fired. And then a bunch of rocks were thrown. I don't know why that conservation officer was trying to arrest me. Get out of here, dude.
Conservation officer? What the fuck?
More shots being fired in the air is my guess. But possibly towards the police. We heard a volley of shots. Numerous volleys. At least I get the TRV up here.
What is that?
I think those are just straight in the sky. It's just, we heard a lot of it during the George Floyd uprising. Police will make these moves on people, and then people will move around and shoot. Sometimes they were shooting at the police. Sometimes, most of the time, not. Again, it's not like people want to be out here. It's not like people are like, woohoo, fuck the police. No, the police keep killing people, and then people come out in response.
Exactly.
And then the police come out in response. And wow, I feel bad. Feel bad for that.
They're just trying to leave.
Person,
Just trying to leave their apartment, and they were like tear gassing by these apartments yesterday, like exposing the people in there and like the fucking children to these poisonous gases. Like, it's fucked. And the effect on the environment, not to mention, again, we're still in a fucking pandemic.
So they did arrest this person. I'm trying to film, man.
So it's basically we're living in a, military zone where there's a curfew. You can't go out past 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. What if, Jesus fucking Christ. Under military occupation, because again, these cops are fucking armed to the teeth with all types of military equipment and hardware. It's fucked.
So yeah, we see the troopers making their moves now up the street. They got real live fire. We're gonna come to the side of them. They got the live fire out, and they're walking down a residential parking lot. They're actually taking, cover
behind cars and shit.
Shit. Not me. No, not me.
Look at him, just fucking
Phone that's been dropped.
ready to shoot somebody. Alright, we'll come back to that because that is pretty interesting, frankly. But look at this, riots breaking out. Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. After Daunte Wright was, I would say, murdered by police after a traffic stop. It's tear gas. Tear gas. Again, it's a war crime. So I do not give one shit whatsoever about property being damaged or destroyed in response to somebody being murdered by the police in cold fucking blood. Destroy whatever you need to fucking do to make the point to the state. Because again, capitalist white supremacist state attacks on capital, on things that generate money for the capitalists, are actually going to have an impact, Watch a little bit more and then end the video. Jesus fucking Christ.
Police are moving down Humboldt. They're going to go into this vehicle now.
Just the disgusting use, the disgusting massive use of public funds to brutalize, oppress, maim, control, and kill particularly communities of color, other marginalized and oppressed groups.
No. Your ears, did you hear him? Your ears are probably as good as mine on that one. Yeah, I do not know. Hard to tell. I'm guessing, right down there.
Disgusting. Look at that. Fucking SWAT. Jesus Christ, that thing's probably fucking $200,000 a piece. That's like what, fucking 8 teacher salaries for 2 of those fucking pieces of shit?
They just got put back into the car.
You want to disarm anybody, disarm the fucking military and the cops, not fucking working class people. if you're a fucking cop, get a real fucking job. Don't be a fucking enemy of the working people. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's all they are. State patrol, you probably have, a lot of state patrol, local police. Jesus fucking Christ. It's disgusting. SWAT team. National Guard was fucking called in.
They're gonna let this person go. So we got the neighborhood reporters behind us. They're on Instagram. Follow them. This is Unicorn Wright. Hey. Shout out to Unicorn Wright. Where do people find your work? You can follow us on Instagram at the Neighborhood Reporter. That's where we're most active. Check out our stories. We're out here as much as we can be. We also have articles and infographics covering the trial of Derek Chauvin. Shout out to the Unicorn Riot for always showing love. So yeah, we heard from neighborhood reporters. Then we got Louis Tran. We got quite a few other independent media out here. Chris June is over there. Quite a few other folks that I do not even know their names, but they're all important out here being media, filming what's happening. They are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
All right.
6, 7, 8.
I'm going to stop that. But again, takeaway messages. Policing in the United States cannot be reformed. It should not be reformed. Defund the police. Work towards abolishing the police. That is the only fucking solution. Peace. Much love. All part of the people. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content.